Yo, can I get that mic check, guys? Yeah, we had no very reds today. 10% very green, 46% green, 36% flat, only 8% red. Not bad. Not a bad batting average for the room, especially considering the level of difficulty in the market today. I didn't think it was an easy day at all. You really had to be in the right names and be agile today in order to take advantage of some of these moves in the market. So, well done. Well done, uh, traders. All right, let me just get my notes here and we're going to get started. All right, so for those of you who are visiting our room for the first time, this is the time of day where we go over the moves in the market. We talk a little bit about um, the special movers for the day and uh, the special movers for the day and what we're expecting to see out of the market next. After that, we typically answer questions, go over traders' trade reviews if they have any reviews they want to go over, and answer any technical analysis or trading questions. So let's go ahead and get started. S&P futures up 6.75 at 56.28. Really wanted to see a close over 56.30 today, but it is what it is. Nasdaq futures up 57.75. So that's up 28 basis points at 20,678.75. The DXY was volatile today. We saw a drop into the open, an inside pivot high, and then a major reversal with the dollar index closing near the highs, up to 105.02 of 14 basis points. Your 10-year yields really not doing much today. 4.275. Your 2-year yield up almost 2 basis points at 4.583. Bitcoin volatile. Who would have thought? We are holding the lows here off of 54,317. Currently 56,357, up 528 or 95 basis points. Crude down 0.86. And gold down 31.30. Nasty move in gold today. Breakdown under 23.76. So the S&Ps. Let's go over the actual indices here. The Dow Jones down 8 basis points. S&P 500 up 10 basis points. Nasdaq up 28 basis points. The Russell 2000 up 59. WTI crude settled at 82 and a quarter. Today the VIX 1237. Market breadth today was nothing to be incredibly proud of. Into the close, we were looking at the NYSE 17% below the 1-month average, with advancers leading decliners 1.2 to 1. And the NASDAQ flat on the 1-month average, advancers leading decliners 1.3 to 1. So nothing really to be very excited about. So really just, the grind up continues. The SPX today, I believe, made new highs. And a new closing high, as well as the NDX here, new all-time closing high. But you can see just by participating intraday in the market, from the volumes, from the market breadth, that we're just now in a very kind of end of the move, slow grind up here. I didn't think this market was easy to trade today at all. Meta today logged some solid declines, down 1060. We had Alphabet down 148, Microsoft down 132, Amazon down 71 cents. the semiconductor stocks outperformed the broader market today. You could see the SMH today with a bit of a gap and go. You had decent gains. The Philly Semiconductor Index showed a 1.9% gain at the close. Nvidia up 1.9%, Broadcom up 2.5%, and AMD solid day today, up almost 4%. AMD was our favorite chart of the morning. We've been waiting for that break of 175. We got it. I started accumulating for my swing to 205, and all-time highs around 226, and we tagged 229 on AMD. So that was one of my favorite charts today. We saw some definitely muted action today related to hesitation in front of the market moving events this week, primarily the CPI and PPI. The June Consumer Price Index and Producer Price Index are released on Wednesday and Thursday this week, respectively. And we have the banks reporting earnings, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup. So it's going to be an interesting week for sure. On the calendar, not a lot today. We had consumer credit, which we're going to go over here in a sec. But we have more stuff. We have more stuff coming up tomorrow, which we're going to discuss here in a second. So we had a consumer credit reading. It increased by 11.3 billion in May. The consensus was 9.5. After increasing an upwardly revised 6.5 billion in April. The key takeaway of the report is that revolving credit growth accelerated strongly after a slight contraction in May. So the question is whether consumers are turning to revolving credit because of the need for cash due to depleted savings or increased optimism about economic prospects. I think it's the former. I think the consumer is running out of savings, and I think we are going to eventually pay the piper. So we shall see. In terms of headlines today, White House-NATO alliance will announce significant new steps to strengthen its military and political partnership. Can you guys hear me okay? Somebody just texted me. They said they couldn't hear me. Okay. All right. So White House-NATO alliance will announce significantly new steps to strengthen its military and political partnership with Ukraine. Fitch Ratings, U.S.-China challenges persist for global credit outlook. On ENV, volume and name, Bain Capital in advanced talks to acquire Envestnet at close to its current market value, according to sources. FAA orders new Boeing 737 model aircraft to be inspected. This on the heels of a flight, I think it was out of Houston, where the front wheel fell off. It's like a bad game of Hot Wheels at this point. It's every day is another scandal for Boeing. Hamas says Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu is placing hurdles in front of ceasefire negotiations. Airbus delivered 67 planes in June. Microsoft admits weak points in Copilot's PC with ARM CPUs. New York Fed, June 1 year ahead, expected inflation at 3.02% versus 3.2%. June 3 year ahead expected inflation at 2.9% versus May's 2.8%. Headlines out of Russia, Putin and Iran press elect discussing cooperation. China repeats its vow of retaliation against EU on tariffs. Goldman Trader is on correction watch because everyone, including himself, is too bullish, according to CNBC. Doesn't that read like an Onion article? It's too funny. AVGO today filed a two-part senior note offering. Roblox vendor data breach exposes dev confidence attendee info. President Biden tells Democrats who are calling him to step aside to challenge me at the convention, getting frustrated by elites in the Democratic Party, according to MSNBC. President Biden saying he's confident the average voter still wants him on the Democratic ticket. OpenAI's China ban doesn't apply to Microsoft's Azure China, according to the information. Israel's finance minister Smotrich says ceasefire deal under discussion is a defeat for Israel. From Warsaw, Zelensky vows retaliation after major Russian missile strike. So as you can see here, things look just peachy. An unusual call activity today. The NET, that's November Echo Tango. NET, the July 1290 calls, active, honored by the offer. MRVL, July 1274 calls. Nice day for Marvell here. Unity Software, we were seeing some early strength in the session today. It doesn't look like much on the daily, but you had some nice moves here intraday. The August 16 calls, and Palantir, the July 12th 29 calls, active today. Unusual puts, MGM, the July 4250s. So that is the long and short of it, ladies and gentlemen. We are in an interesting place in the market. Let's take a look at the spiders here. Let's go to the daily chart. Big old doji. We said this morning your 2-day anchored VWAP is support, and that's exactly when the market came in and bounced. Pretty much right there, end of the day. Triple Qs, I guess a little bit stronger. You also got the same 2-day anchored VWAP bounce, typical, continuation type behavior. So, what do we do with this type of price action moving forward? I don't know. I feel like we need to put in a rain dance and hope for a pullback, because this type of environment I find extremely difficult to trade. The IWM did what the IWM typically does, which is to trap as many people, fool them, and frustrate them. It's just absolute garbage. The Dow Jones, the DIA rather, down a quarter of a percentage point here. 0.6%. Again, nice being 90 bar flag failure, liquidation break, and right back to prior sessions value area. So really weak action overall in the markets today, despite some higher closes. The outstanding mover on the day was AMD into the close. This was nice. We were all over this. Tesla had a nice pop through the prior closing pivot, and a beautiful pullback with a measured move right to our target there. And finally, NVIDIA, which we took off the open. I was very aggressive off the open here, added through day highs, which was also a 5-minute inside bar breakout. Took a bunch through 125.90, and then 130.50, and I had about an eighth of a position left for a runner, and it just kind of fizzled out, unfortunately. So that was those were the trades and the outstanding names today. ANBS had a good start today. We called this out as a trade idea earlier. And Dell had a nice opening drive, higher pivot low, bit of an ascending triangle here, very kind of a stubby one, and then it went. On the daily, there's still a lot of work to do here, but definitely a positive session for Dell. Other than that, I really didn't find that there were a lot of extraordinary nice moves. The other one worth talking about is this Corningware, which I guess raised their guidance today. I would anchor the VWAP here tomorrow to today's bar, and I think you're going to get a pullback to the 2-day anchor, and you can get some nice continuation trades there. Overall, really good stuff from a few names today, but you had to be picky. You had to be vigilant. So that is what we got. Let's see if we have any emails from our esteemed members. Okay. Oh, we've got an Andrew email. Let's see. He writes, in play or not in play? Thanks for your help. Green light, red light. I've been focusing on the party stocks and attempting to define at what price a stock is in play or likely to just jump around. CrowdStrike is, I think, a great example of my current fear struggle. All right, let's talk about your fear and struggle. This morning, this looks like an up thrust after distribution, but we'll see. Is this a distribution or accumulation? My guess is we don't know yet, but I lean towards reaccumulation given the prior previous strength. I agree. Price quickly got above the value area high. Gap down. I did not take this trade. In hindsight, I'm looking at the following. It's very possible I would have bought above 391.88. I would have been fast enough to take some off at R1, R2. I don't know. In truth, probably I would have held some if it wasn't fast enough, thinking I'll recover. Asking myself, will it hold? Then clobbered. My other thought is above 391.88, the stock is in play, but it quickly fell out of it. Okay. My question is this just a risk you take trading ORBs? No, this stock is not in play, dude. This is clearly not in play whatsoever. It's wobbling around like a garden hose where you turn the water on unattended and it just sprays everything. This is CrowdStrike today. That can be the reverse very fast on you, falling in and out. You can't manage risk on this, okay? This is not in play. CrowdStrike. This is the level, my dear friend. It has to break 394 and a quarter and hold the level, okay? There's a reason they say amateurs buy the breakout, professionals buy the pullback, okay? You had a quick opening imbalance trade that took you quickly above 396, and as soon as they were done, this thing got faded. Okay, you need to wait for give it 2, 3, 5 minute bars. See how it does. At least wait 1 5 minute bar and see if they can hold level. Clearly, okay, it got sold in the overhead supply zone. All these prior sellers absorbed these opening imbalance orders and sold it off. Make sense? So clearly not in play. Okay, like you got a Nvidia in play, right? Opening, nice opening bar above the prior, above this prior um, base here, inside resting bar and explosion. Even if you had a buy stop in Amazon, okay, today, would you have been able to make money on this flat top break today? I don't know. I would say yes. I would say you probably made 90 cents, a dollar if you were scalping it quickly. This is you can define risk here a little bit more easily. CrowdStrike really you gotta the way this trades, especially with the spreads, very difficult to trade this unless you see a sustained move on high volume that holds price acceptance over the key breakout level, and that clearly didn't happen here. All right. So that is my answer to you, my friend. Okay, let's see. Next. Uh, Momentum Mastery. I have not taken Momentum Mastery yet. I was thinking of starting in 2 weeks. Should I wait for the second edition? It's not a second edition, it's a volume 2. If you haven't taken volume 1 and you jump into volume 2, you're going to be very confused. So it's not a revision of the original one, it's the second part. Okay? So you should definitely start taking it. I will be finishing it as soon as I'm done with this scalping course. Next question here. Let's see. I shorted Tesla at 946 through day lows, 245.80. That was 4 cents from covering one half before it reversed and stopped me out. I was on a call and only caught you afterwards saying that's why we don't short S1, referring to Tesla. Could you go over why you did, why not short S1, for example? Okay, yeah, sure. Tesla is in a bullish context. Okay. Okay. Context is bullish. Okay. Roadmap, until proven otherwise, okay, is higher. Okay. Structure was the big question today. Where are they going to hold the bottom of the prior day value and S1 and these prior pivots and bounce it, or were they going to really flush it through here? Now, if Tesla had broken through this prior pivot and retraced into S1, I'll take a shot at a short here. Okay. But I noted at the time because I knew you guys were watching it. Okay. After reading thousands of emails from you guys, I can tell what you're gonna do before you, you do it. No offense. Okay. It's just it's been a lot of emails. So I saw this. It looked good. I understand why people are wanting to short this, but you've got an upward angle of ascent, a bottom of value within a bullish context, and a power pivot here that held, got defended, and they ripped it higher. That's what I was saying. Shorting Tesla into S1 here seems like a bad idea. This is the holy trinity, okay? Context, structure, roadmap. Okay? This is the why, not the how. Okay? You're taught, okay, when you see the little green bar and then the little green bar engulf the red bar, and then you see the reverse flux capacitor outsmart the triple kickflip, whatever backflip oscillator, then you no, okay, this is all nonsense. Uh, you have to think in terms of supply and demand. Okay, Tesla is in a markup. In a markup, when you're in this context, okay, they're going to buy every dip. Okay, they see dips as buying opportunities. So this prior minor demand zone got tested into S1, and despite this minor redistributive type of structure looking like it was going lower, you have to think like a trader here and ask yourself, okay, why? Okay, not how. People get very excited because they spot a pattern, but that pattern is often out of context. Okay, ask yourself why. Why would I short this here when this is in a bullish context and they're buying every dip in Tesla? And the answer should be this is not a trade with a lot of edge. Okay. All right. Anyways, I discussed it quickly, saying this looks good, but I'm not shorting S1 for all the tea in China, and that was why. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Uh, it's these little things that make all the difference. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Uh, if did I miss it, VR? Can you resend it real quick? I'll go over it. I'm sorry that I missed it, man. Uh, sorry, man. I'm like the worst at this sort of thing. All right. In your Momentum Mastery course, some of the slides had different phases of the price cycle highlighted, and there is a fresh fixed range volume profile for each phase. How do you determine when to stop one FRBP and start another? Uh, by phases of the price cycle, okay? Consolidations. The in Tesla here, uh, this is exactly how I would have profiled it. Okay, you did fine. So basically, you're capturing what you want to see in the fixed range volume profile. Okay, is where the liquidity was in this point in the trade. What's important here? Okay, you see how you have uh, thin structure here, right? Not a lot of orders through these highs. What does that mean for the people taking out the high here? Are they going to have more overhead sellers within structure or less overhead sellers? What would you say? More or less? You're going to have less, right? You're going to have less overhead sellers. There's fewer people trapped up here. Okay, so we choose strategically where to profile volume based on where we want to see the prints that we're trading against. You're trading against these prints. Okay, these people have converted to a new made-up religion in the hopes that buyers are going to come in and bail them out. Okay, Wall Street finds religion. All right. So when you see thin structure here as opposed to heavy structure, right, it makes it more appealing to the bulls to come in and completely take this out. Okay. If you had a P-shaped profile here with a giant point of control up through this breakout pivot, it would be far less appealing, right? So I look to profile the areas I find pertinent in terms of price acceptance of prior levels. Make sense? I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. Uh, okay, let's see here. BR, did you send? Okay, there it is. All right, let's take a look, brother. Wow, this one's in PowerPoint. Fancy. Andrew, BR's giving you a run for your money, bro. You better step up your game. Am I setting my stops too tight? Okay, let's take a look. Uh, Early on the 2 minute inside bar breakout above POC. This was starting to curl. Okay, I set my hard stop at 151.50. Okay. Hard stop hit. That was trade. You mentioned your stop was at 160.50. Was my stop too tight on this trade? Uh, uh, Probably. You've got to keep ATR in mind when you're trading. Okay. Are you familiar with ATR? Uh, if you're not really familiar with the daily range of your names and the key levels, you're very likely to get stopped out when your stop is too tight. Okay, let's see. That's why, in my opinion, it's always better to scale in small and then add when the trade really starts to work. Case in point, NVIDIA today, right? Did I know NVIDIA was going to have an explosive morning? No, right? We nibbled some through the open there around like 128.07, right? When it pulled back to VWAP, we added some, right? And then we set a buy stop through break of day highs when we had confirmation of a breakout. And at this point, okay, I call this is the technical term in Edwards and McGee, okay? I believe the original technical term from the 1950s was the cheddar zone, okay? This is where the money's made. You can begin to position here, okay? Uh, but you don't really know whether you're right until the voluminous break of highs. So, in my opinion, it's better to scale it small, you know? All right, trade two. Entry to the 15-minute inside bar breakout. First target 169, second target R2. Hard stop set at halfway point. Okay. 15-minute bar. Was my stop set too tight for this trade as well? Probably. Also, uh, this was already a big move, man. This was up $8 on the day, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So like the timing isn't great. And I mean, I see that it kind of moved in your favor for a little bit, but like the rubber band was already stretched pretty severely here. From lows to highs, you're looking at a 9 point move almost. So I think that's the biggest problem. Your stop was fine. Okay. Your stop was fine. I think you need to start taking ATR uh, much more, much more in mind. Okay, so I think that was the issue. Let's see here. Did I miss any of your emails, guys? Another question about Momentum Mastery. I have a question about Momentum Mastery too. Electric Boogaloo. In this first course, you mentioned there were a couple of hundred more slides that went into great detail on fast and slow schematics, among other things. Since you have said two will be more positioning risk based, will that information still be included? Yes. It's not going to be lost like the Ark in Indiana Jones, stored somewhere in a vast government repository. It will be there. Worry not, my friend. All right, questions here. Should I be using the daily chart well-defined trends to filter out potential setups? Um, uh, I took only short. I only look to take short day trades. Is this a good filter to use? In my opinion, Todd, one of the biggest edges you're going to have as a day trader is multi-time frame analysis. Okay, so when you incorporate multiple time frames, okay, you're going to capture the current of buyers and sellers in the bigger time frames, and you want to be as aligned with those as possible because you may be trading for 5-10 minutes, but you want to be riding the wave of buying or selling of those higher time frame participants who are going to elevate uh, your your uh, your moves higher and lower. Okay, make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it does. It is one of the, as far as technical catalysts, multiple or technical odds enhancers, multiple time frames aligning is one of the biggest edges you're going to have in the market. I have seen traders in this room go from being losing traders to winning traders by simply trading the context of the bigger time frame, right? And not doing silly things like taking bull flag breakouts into overhead supply zones because they're not looking at the daily chart. You know what I mean? All right, good stuff, guys. I don't have any more emails from you guys that I can see. Anything else you want to go over? Any questions or anything else? Charles says, I have a basic question on the VWAP histogram chart, meaning is the color green bar volume? You have your bid price versus volume and color pink bar. Are you talking about my volume histogram? Yeah, it's up down volume. Yes, that's correct, Charles. Yep, that's all it is. Up down volume. Cool. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? I'll come back in a couple of hours and scan the market and update the. I'll go ahead and update the on deck list for tomorrow. So I usually come in 9-10 o'clock at night my time, which is around 12, and just get these updated. So if you check it late tonight, you'll see the on deck list updated for tomorrow. So that'll be the watch list for tomorrow, and I also update the bases and trends. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, good first day. I know it was a little challenging. The market really was not fertile ground for a lot of trade ideas, but I think we did pretty good. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the start. I'm doing this thing with Benzinga in the morning, so I might be like 5 minutes late. Um, doing what was it called? What's that show called? Pre-market prep. Pre-market prep. So I'll be on Benzinga pre-market prep at 8:30 tomorrow. I might be like 9:05 or something like that. So don't despair if you don't see me. Um, like their data. Now the pre-market prep is legit. They got really good guys there. So if you don't see me at 9 o'clock, trust me, I haven't gone fishing. I'm just doing a online interview. Uh, is the VIX at 1237 good or bad? Uh, well, zero DTE has really messed with the VIX. Uh, you know, the VIX is basically the real-time markets index, the real-time market index representing the expectations for volatility over the next 30 days. And with all these zero-day uh, options expirations, it's really done a number on the VIX. Basically, the VIX isn't doing anything interesting remotely. Okay. So I don't really have anything else to say about that. I've really stopped relying on the VIX. It doesn't really do much for me anymore. The VVIX, the volatility of the VIX, a lot of people are starting to use this more. But I still find it to be kind of a useless instrument until you get over 20. But by the time you get over 20 on the VIX, like, uh, hello, you're the market's going to be on fire. You know what I'm saying? So I don't find it particularly useful. You know what I'm saying? So good stuff. Any other comments or questions, guys? UVXY. Yeah, I day trade the UVXY sometimes. Yeah, it's not bad from time to time. All right, good stuff, guys. We'll be back tomorrow between 9 and maybe, I don't know, maybe 9:10 if I'm running late. Um, Good first day. If you have any questions or comments that are trading related, jr@t3live.com. If you have any questions regarding signups or subscriptions, please email info@t3live.com. Amber and Monica will take great care of you. Good first day, guys. Let's keep the momentum going. We'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning. Take care, everyone.